Good morning. It's Tuesday. It's the 23rd of December 2025. And we're now seeing everything play out in public. The criminal syndicates are being dismantled one by one, state by state throughout the United States, country by country throughout the EU and in the UK. This all happened back in 21 and 22, but you're now seeing it play out in the pantomime. It is all being completely dismantled. The good thing is, it's already been done. For those people who are awake and aware, you'll know that. But for those people who are just waking up, you'll see it in the mainstream media, the place that you always wanted to see it. For those who are awake, we saw it 3 years ago. But now you can catch up and see it for yourself. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Drew.
Good morning, everybody. President Trump has unveiled plans for a new Trump-class battleship, calling it the biggest and most powerful warship ever built. Announced at Mar-a-Lago, the so-called Golden Fleet would start with 2 ships, with plans for up to 25. Trump claims they'll be bigger and larger than World War II battleships and armed with hypersonic missiles, railguns and lasers. The move comes as the US looks to expand its navy and close the shipbuilding gap with rivals like China.
Well, they're playing catch-up now, and they've been playing catch-up for years because China and Russia are so far ahead. It's unbelievable. But if they're looking for new nuclear weapons, then they can always buy a load from Israel because they've got bundles of them. Drew.
Good morning, Charlie. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, everyone. US Vice President J.D. Vance warned that nuclear-armed European allies could become a security risk if mass immigration continues to weaken national identity. Speaking to Unheard, Vance said Britain and France are losing cultural ties to the US and warned that hostile political forces could eventually gain control of nuclear weapons. He claimed Islamist-aligned politicians are already winning local elections and could reach national power within 15 years, urging Europe to confront what he called political stagnation.
Well, this is all part of their agenda. And you've got 2 agendas out here. You've got the Zionists on one side who want to control everything, and you've got the Islamic extremists on the other hand. Allegedly, but somewhere in the middle, there's what's called normality. There are very, very good people on both sides, but there are very, very bad people on each side. And you need to work out who's who. And for each country, we all have different cultures, all of us. And that's what makes it beautiful. The whole multicultural agenda was doomed to fail because the beauty of different countries is their culture. And to make us all the same would never, ever work. But this is their way to divide us, to make us realise that we are so different. It will never work the way they say it would. And of course, in the UK, we're the multicultural capital of the world. Yeah, and that's why London is probably one of the most unsafe cities in the world, because of it doesn't work. And the beauty of when you go to these countries, seeing their own culture and embracing their own culture is wonderful. But when you put it all in one big pot, it just doesn't work.
My next story, China has set a new monthly record for buying Russian gold, with imports in November reaching nearly $1 billion. According to customs data, the surge comes as Beijing steps up efforts to move away from the US dollar and Moscow reroutes exports away from Western markets under sanctions. Over the first 11 months of this year, China's purchases of Russian gold jumped almost 9-fold. Analysts say the real figures could be even higher.
Well, if you look at the purchases of gold and silver currently worldwide, Russia and China have been buying quietly for a very long time and stockpiling it. And at the moment, this is why there's a certain imbalance that's going on, because they have been long-sighted, whereas Europe, the US and the UK have been very short-sighted. And we went through it before where they sold our gold cheap. And of course, China will buy it very quickly and just keep it there quietly. This is all part of the levelling of the playing field. And we're seeing it in plain sight. It's been done. Now you're seeing it.
Next up, Georgia election officials have admitted to violating vote certification rules during the 2020 presidential election, reviving controversy over the state's narrow Biden victory. The admission followed a complaint alleging Fulton County illegally certified over 315,000 ballots, including at least 134 without required signatures on the tabulator tapes. Biden won Georgia by fewer than 12,000 votes. State officials called the findings very troubling and referred the case to the Georgia Attorney General for possible penalties as President Trump renews calls for sweeping election reforms.
Well, for those people who were watching, Donald Trump was indicted for this, for asking questions about it. And now we find out that his questions were valid. I will tell you that we knew from the inside, of course, they were valid. We knew exactly what was going on. But they had to try and indict him for even inquiring about it. They had to go through that process. My final point today is about the truth. And this is where it becomes very important. I keep hearing my truth, your truth. There is only one truth, and that's God's truth. Stop trying to make up your own truth. Get yourself centered back with God, and then you'll find the truth. That was the news. On Tuesday, the 23rd of December. Have a wonderful day. This is Christmas Eve. We're getting closer. Have a wonderful time with your families. God bless.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Noble Gold. Real assets. Real value.